Hey everybody, welcome back to Shop Review and Tips. I'm Xavier, I'm the Chief Growth Officer at 360, the app that helps you grow your store and be happy. So let's get right into it. Today we're going to look at the e-commerce Reddit and we're going to respond to Bright280, who's asking about his website getting daily visits but no sales. So I'm feeling discouraged. I feel you, man. I spent 2 years creating an amazing product, built the website, did everything myself. Now I'm getting quite a bit of targeted traffic to my website, but no sales. I know that the market I am in is saturated, but new products like this come out all the time and do well. Okay, any tips? So I know it can be frustrating. You spent all your energy and time and you put all this effort in building your product and website, and now you put it online and nothing happens. And a lot of businesses are in this situation. So the first thing to do is ask for help. So that's what you did. That's fantastic. And I went through your website and then I went through the advice below. There's a ton of great advice. So I will put the link of this thread below the video in the description so that anybody that watches this video can see and take inspiration from all the great advice. So let me go over your website and give you a few tips. Just before that, I want to give you a rule of thumb of what to expect in terms of sales from daily visits. That's a question I get very often. People ask, okay, how many sales should I be expecting? So to use a very rough estimate, a ballpark figure, we could say that 400 daily visits should translate in a few sales, let's say 4. So I'm using a 1% conversion rate. So of course this figure can vastly differ from business to business depending on the industry, the types of products, your margin rate, the pricing points, and many other factors. And it's by no means a rule set in stone. Some businesses have a lower conversion rate but are very successful. Some businesses have a much higher conversion rate, but let's just use 1% for the sake of making simple calculations. So with this amount of daily visits, and assuming, like you said here and below in some responses, they're actual human and somewhat interested in the topic. They're not like random robots on the internet, fake traffic, fake people. So they're actual people coming to your website. You should be expecting 4 sales, around 4 sales or a few sales per day. Okay, so that's the first thing to take note of, because very frequently people don't really know how much traffic they need to bring sales in. Okay, so you should definitely have more sales than that, especially if you've already run your website for a few days. Let's have a look. So the ketoguide.co. So I love the catchphrase, the image, and I went through the website. Overall, everything's really neat. It's really beautiful. It's you have a lot of images, a lot of content. It's really great. You have reviews at the bottom. So everything is really great. I'm really a big fan of what you've done here. So let's go into what's wrong directly, because a lot of things are right actually. But so the first thing I noticed is, usually when you scroll through the website, you don't have many call to actions. Call to action is, what you want your website visitors to do. And in your case, since you're saying you don't have any sales, we would imagine your primary call to action is for people to go on your product and buy your product. And here, the first problem I see on your website is, besides this big button here, which we'll get back to, you don't have a lot of call to actions. And it's not rare, and it's actually a tip I frequently give, is to repeat your call to action frequently. Like every section or every other section, like put again your button or big text link to see the product, buy the product, look at the gallery, the collections, whatever is your next step in the process. You want to get people there, because usually people will, before they click on the first button, they will skim through the website quickly. They will scroll down, look a bit at what's going on. And at this stage, they might say, oh, that looks really cool. That looks really neat. And they go to the bottom and there's nothing. And they don't really know where to go. And might be frustrating. People have a short attention span and they can leave the website without doing anything. So you definitely want to have a call to action. So usually a big button that says, learn more, look at the product, buy now, something like that. And you want to repeat it as frequently as possible, without making it too much in your face, but you should definitely have it more often, and definitely like a handful of times on the landing page, or the home page in that case. And you definitely want to have something at the bottom, because very frequently people will just scroll down, and once they're at the bottom of the website, they don't know what to do. So here you definitely need to have, above the footer, you need to have like a big button here, or big text, or like a whole section that just has the call to action. Learn more about how to implement this keto regime diet. Click here to get your guide, something like that. Okay. So the only place where you have like a big visible call to action is this. This is the second problem. So let's look at what happens when we click here. The problem is you directly go to another place, which is outside of the website, where you have this PDF. And the PDF is great, and I think it's an amazing strategy to provide value like this to users. I think it's fantastic that you have this massive PDF with 56 pages and a lot of content. I went through it before the video. It's really cool. You have a lot of advice. You explain what's keto, and you give a lot of details, what products you can eat. You have some schedules, some recipes. So like it's really valuable. I feel like you give a lot of value, and that's great. I think it's a perfectly good strategy to offer value first and show people, teach people, educate them, so provide something that they like. And by doing this, firstly, you start the relationship on a good foot, and you establish some credibility and some authority, because people will learn from you, and then so it's logical that they get back to you if they say, oh, that sounds great, so now I want to go further, I want to actually implement this, I want a more dedicated, personalized, diet, I need help, please, help me get to the next level. And that's where you create this business relationship. The problem here is twofold. First one is you shouldn't bring people out of your website, especially on the first link. Like that's the first thing people will do on the website. They will look here, they will click, and they go out. You don't want to bring people out of your website. You can maybe open a new tab, or maybe put that content in another page. You don't want people to jump up off your website immediately like this. The second thing is you're not asking anything in return. So you're giving a lot of value, and that's great, but you're not really asking for anything. What you should do usually is ask for people's email before they can download the guide. And so that's what we generally call a lead magnet. So lead magnet is something that brings lead. And so you offer value first in exchange of something, and then you start a relationship that leads to more business. By email, you can provide additional information, more recipes, more tailored advice, regular news about keto diet, famous people using keto diet, and a lot of other relevant information about produces and stuff like that. And by doing this on a regular basis, you engage with the people that have requested your guide. So people that are interested in keto, they want to learn more about keto. So they will appreciate getting this information, they will engage in the relationship, and then you can sell them more advanced stuff, more advanced guide, personalized plans and stuff like that. Here the problem is you don't start that relationship by not asking for the email. So what I would advise very simply is when they click on the button, that opens a pop-up where you just enter your email, and then you can download the guide. Or it opens a new page where you have a more complete form where people enter their information and they agree on getting regular emails, and then they can download the guide. And that's going to make a massive difference. Email is nowadays, still in 2022, that's the number one sales channel. It's by email. That's how you can develop long-lasting relationships that have some depth to them and that lead to repeat business. So it's a great way of getting regular repeat business with your customers. But you need to get something out of this, right? You're not necessarily going to get a sale for each visit on your website, but if you can at least get something like an email, you can start a relationship which ultimately will end up with a sale. Okay, and so if you implement these two things, a more call to action and call to actions to your product, or like I said, transforming this into a lead magnet and getting emails, that at least you'll get something out of it. The other thing I would say is if you sell a product on this page, make it more clear that it's a product and it's an advanced product. I looked at the website before, and I guess this is the only place where you directly lead to your product. And this was not entirely clear to me at first. I had to look several times at the landing page to find this link. So it's, compared to the first button, it's way more discreet. And here you have a guide. And it's not super clear why, we need to pay for this guide and it's not the same as the first guide, right? So you want to differentiate more your free offering, which is the first guide, which is here, which is free, which is the introduction to Keto PDF. And you want to make your paying products somewhat more of a value-added product. And so you definitely don't want to call it a guide as well, because at first I thought this was the same guide as this one, which now I understand is not the case, but it's really not clear. So you have to, and I guess it's very different, right? It's much more complete. So call it like an advanced guide or comprehensive guide or advanced plan or something like this, which makes it, clear that it's not the same thing as the free guide that you give out at first, right? So main two pieces of advice is, putting more call to actions, especially around the product. If your main objective is to drive sales, turn this into a lead magnet asking for the email. And lastly, I'm mentioning one last piece of advice because I noticed on the Reddit thread, a lot of people were saying the website is too slow and takes a lot of time to load. So I prepared this to show you. If you right click so I'm using Google Chrome as a browser. If you right click, you go to inspect, it's going to open this panel. And if you go to the Lighthouse tab, you're going to have a performance test by Google. So it's going to give you a score based on your website speed, basically, and a few other SEO, techniques to make the website faster to load and more efficient. And they give you a lot of advice, a lot of stuff to implement. You don't have to do everything, but if you make it faster to load, it's going to reduce the bounce rate. So the percentage of people that immediately go out of your website just because it takes too much time to load. So I definitely recommend looking into that and improving that speed. That's getting more and more crucial, especially on mobile, for users to stay on your page and also to be highly ranked on Google and other search engines. Okay, so if you'd like to learn more about all of this and how you can improve your sales, let's have a more in-depth discussion. So I invite you to go to this link, which will also be in the description of the video, and I'll tell you more about Ad360, which is an app that you can download on Shopify, and it makes it easier for you to manage all your ads in multiple channels. It's the easiest way to implement retargeting ads. So once you have all these people coming to your website and they leave without making a purchase, you want to show ads to these very people and not random, website visitors online. You want to show ads to the people that have been on your website, maybe those that have read the guide but haven't purchased yet. These are the hot leads, the most likely to purchase, and these are the people you want to show ads to. So if you'd like to know how to do that, we'd be happy to help you getting started. And there's a free audit offered with the consultation, and it's a free call. We'll go in depth into your strategy. We'll help you set up retargeting, and there's a free trial then to use the app to manage everything automatically for you. So feel free to book a time using this calendar, and I look forward to speaking with you in more details. Have a lot of success. I wish you the best. Bye.